You know, it wasn't terribly long ago I found out that I always knew you were a good baritone singer, which, for those of you who don't actually sing in a bluegrass band, baritone singing is sort of like an intellectual process of figuring out what's left and how not to step on the other people's parts. And this guy is an excellent baritone singer. I don't think he's given enough credit for it, but he's been on a lot of sessions where he made that third part buzz. And
it's okay, I get paid more.
Who did you listen to as singers?
Oh man, the Osborne brothers were. Sonny Osborne was the best baritone singer ever, I thought. You know, Eddie Adcock. Oh, what am I saying? I don't know. Is it Eddie or is it Sonny? I mean, those two guys, they both were blenders, but you could still pull them out of the mix. You could still hear them. You know, they had such great personalities in their voices. You weren't gonna hide Sonny. Sonny was creeping up, you know, behind Bobby and just creating all this tension in the middle of the trio. It was amazing.
Well, both those guys, as singers, had incredible ranges. It's just that the parts they were given, you didn't always realize what kind of ranges those guys had with their voices. Sonny would go way high up and still be under Bobby, but he'd go way up. It's hard to sing some of those parts.
Oh, they just felt them. You know, you feel those kind of things when you put three people's heads together. You know, and if you could duct tape those three heads together and have them sing, that would be an amazing thing, because you feel it in your head, you know, in your nasal cavities when things are in tune. You know, it feels better.
Now, it was only fairly recently when I heard some tapes of an album that was going to come out, and the guy on the record label told me to figure out who the lead singer was on that song. And I didn't know it was Jerry, singing sort of a bluesy style, and it really was effective. It was a very good solo singing voice. When did you start? Did you always sing solo stuff to yourself, or did you fairly recently develop that persona?
No, I didn't, because, you know, I was playing with Ricky Skaggs and Alison Krauss. You know, we don't need another singer. Dan Tyminski, okay, in a pinch. But you know, I've been so lucky to play with us Whites. You know, were very, very informative to me. I mean, I learned so much about harmony and structure from listening to them build something. You know, they just naturally felt it too, just like the Osborne brothers. It's a sibling harmony thing. It's incredible. But the way they would stack something, you know, and it was just a really sweet chord. You know, it was always the perfect stack. And they'd change it, you know, they'd try and change it once in a while, but now they'd go back to it. I mean, it was the right one.
Now, speaking of Allison, how did that big leap happen?
It was right at the end of my big, long recording history, and I still record, but that was like 3 a day, 5 days a week, you know, sort of like a factory job, making music, and it's not very conducive to that, you know, being fresh and being good. And so I think I was producing the Lonesome River Band, one of their records, and we had a tornado, but right before that, Allison called one day and said, you know, somebody had left the band and they didn't know what they were going to do. They didn't know if they were going to keep going, didn't know what to do. So, but I had some dates booked. Would I go out and play on them? And I said, yes. You know, I thought I better ask my wife Jill first, but yeah. So I went out to play for like 2 weeks, 3 weeks max. And about 3 days in, she and all of them just surrounded me and said, would you just stay? And I said, nah.
There was no escape.
It was 20 years ago, though.
Yeah.
So I've been in that band for 21 years, I guess.
Wow. Now, before we close out, because we're running out of time, and I would like to ask Jerry what he brought with him here on the floor. But one last question I have for you. Every outfit you've ever seen Jerry Douglas perform in, there is no slouch on stage. Everybody knows his, her, or its, or transgendered or neutered parts. And
Where's this going?
And then, legitimate question. What is it you look for in a band member?
I look for somebody who is ready to play, really, ready to play better than they've ever played, you know. And then for me I want them to learn from the band. I want the band to learn from them as well. Want everything to go up. Every time a band member changes, it should go up. Because you've had the other, so it can get better. And I mean, I love Daniel Kimbrough's bass playing. And when he came into the Earls, it was like, wow. You know, the whole band's lifted up all of a sudden. We got this brand new energy. And it happens like that. Jeff, the same with Jeff White coming into the band. But you know, you want somebody who is of like mind, you know, likes the kind of music. We don't all like the same kind of music. If I put on a Steely Dan record or something like that, Sean Camp goes ballistic. You know, what the hell is that? But that's okay. You know, then we'll agree, and we'll put on George Jones, and we'll both just sit there and cry. You know, so it's nice to have camaraderie with your band and inside the band and the workings of the band, because it's like a marriage. You have to give and take. You know, you can't just dish it out all the time without taking a few lumps once in a while. But at the end of the day, you know, be friends and don't go to sleep angry.
Good advice. So what did you bring for us today?
You know, I took my dobro to school one time. One of my schoolmates reminded me a couple years ago. He said, you brought it to school and the teacher gave you a C.
Folks, would it be okay if Jerry played us a number to take us out?
You guys heard Gary and Uma? You heard that? Yeah. Amazing. What do you think about that?
Now, I heard a rumor. Is it true that they're your neighbors?
They're my neighbors. They live down the street from me, and they cut that in my little studio.
I heard a video of them, and that gal has such a beat on the old-time hammer. She's just got it, and the boy on the fiddle's got some intensity. And they're what, 11 and 13 or something like that?
Yeah, Gary's 13. But Uma's been working a lot with Rhiannon Gibbons. And who loves her, and you know, yeah, that's a good.
Well, Rhiannon Gibbons is going to take them to a good place.
Yeah, and I'm sure
there's vision there.
I'm sure she's given Rhiannon some right back too. A lot of talent there. Yeah. A lot of talent. Yeah, I can play something.
All right.
Is this one on? Or you want to just use this one? Doesn't matter anyway, does it?
There it is.
All right. Can you give me a little bit of that down here? Yeah, I'm just that much of a prima donna. This is called Rain on Olivia Town. My daughter Olivia is going to make me a grandfather in September. So give me just a little bit more of this.
musicians in any idiom, Mr. Jerry Duck